Hello and welcome back. Okay, so in this video, what I want to talk about, now that you've gone through and you've realized an online resume is a great thing, it has so many different benefits, and then you went and you actually created one for yourself. You created a website. You downloaded one of these pre-made websites and you're starting to build some of your qualifications into it. Now I want to talk about how you can actually do this really, really well. Not only is the act of creating an online resume impressive, but you can do some really great things within it. And I want to talk about some of the ideas and opportunities that I've come up with. So let's get into the best practices for an online resume. So the first piece of advice would be to really spend a lot of time on your formatting. It's already going to be impressive just because you've put an online resume up. And we've shown you some of the ones that look really good in our last video. We showed you the CV one. We showed you what you can do by adding your portfolio and making the design really appealing. We talked about all the different things and showed you some examples of what you can provide, the different details, the different qualifications you can add to that online resume. But here's the thing. Don't make this look amateur. I know this might be the first time you've created a website and probably the first time you've done an online resume, but it's very important to make sure that this looks good. Because just because you put something online doesn't mean someone's going to be impressed by it. It has to look professional. And of course, anytime you're applying for a job, professionalism is key. So perfect formatting truly is important. Now, if it's your first time and you're not a professional designer, then that's fine. You can go hire other people to help you. Or of course, as we said before, you can download those pre-made websites that already are done by a professional designer. And then, of course, all you do is input your name, your qualifications, and any other details in terms of your resume that belong there. And that makes it for a very perfect formatting. But of course, make sure that you're doing a good review of it. You're printing it out, you're looking at it online, you're looking at it on a mobile phone, a tablet, and you're making sure that everything looks good. And potentially you might want to hire somebody, myself being one of those people, that can take and give you some honest feedback on it. And then not only feedback, but can give you some pointers about how you can change anything that doesn't look exactly perfect. So that's the first piece of advice. Make sure that it looks really, really good, because if it's looking perfect, if you have all these colors and great design elements, then gosh, you're going to stand out in a huge way. And that's exactly why you're doing this online resume in the first place. The second thing that you want to do is try to make it as interactive as possible. Certainly you've been to many websites online, and the ones where you're just reading a bunch of things, well, they can be good, but the ones that are interactive are so much better. They're so much more entertaining for the person who's using them. So you're already doing something creative. Try to add some interactive features. If you're only replicating the exact same content, the exact same design, the exact same stuff as your paper resume, then, well, there's not that much of a benefit for an online one. So try to add some features like, for example, they go and they look at your portfolio, or maybe you have moving parts on it. Maybe you have other things like videos. Try to use some of these different things because that really makes it much, much more user-friendly, and that's what you want recruiters to think when they look at your resume. The next thing is we really strongly advise you to pay for a real domain and hosting. Now, if you followed our advice and you used WordPress, you actually created your own domain, then you're already ahead of the game and you can skip this one. But some people actually go and they say, oh, we're going to do this for free. And so they have, in my case, it might be danperryresume.weebly.com. It doesn't look professional when you're using other things in your domain name. So Weebly is a service, for example, that provides free websites. But if you have Weebly in your name, then gosh, that doesn't necessarily look very professional. Suddenly, it's not your own. It's somebody else that's created this. So we would strongly recommend spend the money. It was only a little more than $100 to create all the different things, the hosting, the domain name, the privacy for that domain, and the theme. It was only more than $100 per year. And that's well worth it. $100 to spend to make yourself look professional and have all the other benefits of an online resume is well worth the investment. We think you'll probably see benefit many, many times greater than what that cost is. So certainly something to make sure that you're doing. The other thing that we want you to do is make sure that you're using the benefits of a portfolio. We have an entire guide on your portfolio at Reverse Tide, and this is something that I truly, truly believe differentiates you compared to your competition. most of the applicants are just going to have bullet points that say, I'm qualified, I have the experience you're looking for. And all they're doing is saying it. Anybody can go say it. Anyone can promise that they have it. You're the one who's going to go out and actually use a portfolio. So you might have videos, work samples, links, pictures, anything else that proves your skills. And that's going to give so much more confidence to the employer. A website has that functionality already built in. It's easy to upload a video. It's easy to put your design portfolio in there. There's so many opportunities to do that because it stores it and then displays it in a user-friendly way. So use the power of the website to build out that portfolio and show the employer that you are truly experienced. Prove it to them rather than the other applicants who are just stating it. The next thing is contact information. So when everyone's impressed by all the things that you've offered, you sent this around to people, people might find you, make sure that it's easy for them to locate your contact details. This should be all over your website and should be very apparent where you contact them. It's pretty simple, but there's a lot of people who focus on all the bells and whistles of the website and then they forget, oh yeah, the recruiter's actually looking to get into contact with you so they can hire you. So of course, make sure that that's easy. And within the websites, you can do contact forms. You can leave your name, your phone number, your email, do all of these different things. It's very, very important. The next thing is to try and market your website in any way possible. Now that you've created this wonderful thing, don't just put it on your paper resume as a link. Actually go out and put it everywhere. Put it on your social media. Put it in your LinkedIn profile. Start sending it around to people. Send it to headhunters. Send it to recruiters. Proactively try to get this in the hands of people who are making hires or people who are influential in the hiring process. Once you have an online resume, it's very easy to do. Much different than a paper resume where you actually have to send that to people specifically and then they say, well, wow, why are you sending me this attachment? No, an online resume is much easier to do. So market it all over the place like you're a professional marketer and you're going to see some good results from that. Finally, is make sure that you're not losing sight of the fundamentals. You still have to do all the important things of your resume. Don't make this something that's high-end design and lacks the fundamentals, lacks the substance behind it. So you're going to need to do everything that's important on a resume, like highlighting your best qualifications, demonstrating your tangible accomplishments and skills, making sure that you're applying to jobs in a customized way and are meeting all the different requirements that they list in the job descriptions. Make sure you're being forward-looking as opposed to past-looking, and all the other important fundamentals of applying for a job. These things are the most important things. All the formatting opportunities are just enhancements to the fundamentals. So make sure that when you go through this, you're certainly have an eye on making sure that this is doing what a resume is intended to do. Okay, so the last thing that I want to mention is that if you've gone through this entire process, you've created this website, you think you have something that looks really good, but you're really not certain and you want some feedback, I offer this help with every aspect of your job application. So I have one package that's specific to a resume review, and I'm happy to look at both your paper resume as well as your online resume and give you all the feedback that that entails. If you have other things like portfolio items, your LinkedIn profile, or other specific proposals for the job, I'm happy to look at both your resume as well as the rest of your full job application review, and that's what this middle option entails. And if you're not entirely sure, let's say you haven't built your resume yet, or let's say you're applying for a job and you're not exactly sure how to get started, I'm happy to offer a more generic career coaching service, and that is really whatever you want it to be. If you have questions about putting a resume together, if you have questions about how you can become qualified for a new type of job, or if you have other things that you want to talk about related to your career, this is something that I offer on an hourly basis, so it's $225 per session. And that allows you to talk about anything that's important to your career. Now, the benefit of all of these different things is my personal opinion is they pay for themselves. By getting professional feedback, by getting someone who's looked at thousands of resumes and created so many more, you're getting somebody who's professional and who has hired people. This is the sort of thing that's going to get you not only hired quicker, it's going to get you into better jobs and get you into better negotiating positions. And all of these things can be worth thousands of dollars every single year. So while these prices might look like, gosh, they're a little bit more than I'm comfortable spending, well, they actually pay for themselves many, many times over. And they're really, really good things in order to make the best of your career. So if you have any questions or if you're interested in any of these services, I strongly encourage you to get a hold of me, and I'm more than happy to work with you on your specific situation. Hopefully, your online resume is really going to get you the absolute best job, and that's what this page has been designed to do. We looked at all the different things. Why is an online resume so important, and what are the benefits for it? How can you create it, and how can you make the best of it once you have an online resume? So hopefully you're going to use this, you're going to get a great job, and this is all going to be well worth the effort that you put into it. Thank you so much.